Hey y'all, before we get started, look at my handsome boy. Look at him. Other one is out there, don't worry. Look at this. Hi, handsome boy. So I am still very much taking a short break from social media, but I felt really called to share this message, which is why I'm on. I mentioned early last week that I have had a hell of a couple of months. Lots of energy, lots of emotions. For those of you who follow the astrological calendar, there's been a lot of retrogrades, a lot of transits, a lot of movements. Go check out my girl at Mighty Moonstones and Magical Moon Mama. I'll tag her because she just changed her name. But there's been a lot of energy, a lot of stuff that's going on. And this week, I found myself very quickly going back into old habits and an old paradigm of the rabbit hole, right? Going down the rabbit hole of less than, of things not working out right. And by right, I mean going according to the plan I had in my head. And when I start to go through that rabbit hole, it looks like I'm never gonna do it. I'm never gonna make this work. I'm never gonna be enough. I'm never gonna have what I want. I'm never gonna, never. Which is really an insurmountable thing when you keep telling yourself this finite term of you will never have this. You will never be that because you've never done it. And this is one of those things that is a human experience. It doesn't matter how long you've been on a healing, spiritual, personal development journey. You could be 17,000 days into it. You could be on day one. We're still humans at the end of the day. We're still going to have these moments or these days or these weeks or months or years of thinking, fuck, it's never going to work. I'm never going to find the right combination of things that makes the picture in my brain a reality. And when we go through these energies or these emotions or these dark times, I'm going to generally call them dark times. We kind of have three options of how to work through them. The first option is to do nothing. To sit in it and bitch and moan and complain and gripe about how nothing ever goes right and we're never going to be enough and we're never going to have it and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Which is where I lived for a long time. It sucks. You don't get anywhere with it either. Like, you're literally just sitting in the muck. You're sitting in the ick and the shit and the stuff that just does not do anything. You complain for the sake of complaining, but you don't actually do anything to change the paradigm. You're continuing to build up that muscle that nothing will change because you're not doing anything about it. So that's option one. The second option we have in working through times like this is to sit with the emotions, to sit with the energy and have it wash through us. Which externally can look a lot like the first one, except that we're not bitching and moaning. We're not constantly going in with these negative thoughts of, I'm never going to be enough. I'm always going to be less than. I like to describe option two as kind of a riptide of what we're supposed to do, right? So our human response to being caught up in a riptide is to fight against the current to get back to shore. Actually, that's like the exact wrong thing to do because you tire yourself out and end up not making it for the most part. Much lower chance of survival if you're going to constantly fight against the current of the riptide. Option two is the proper training or the proper tactic. So if you're ever caught in a riptide, you're actually supposed to go with that current. Allow it to take you further out into sea, because once it's done, you'll have all your energy and you can make it back to shore. So for our purposes, when we sit in option 2 and we sit with the emotions and we allow them to wash through us, that's what we're doing. We're studying the current. We're studying what these thoughts and feelings and energies are. We're learning where they come from. We're looking and observing them. We're observing where the current is taking us, or where the current is working through energetically, emotionally in our bodies. We're studying it. We are not engaging. Option 2 does not engage with these negative thoughts. We observe them. Back to our riptide example, we are not engaging and fighting against the current. We're going with the current. We're allowing it to carry us through to where it's meant to take us, or, where the current is going to end. And then when we are on the other side and we've done the study and we've taken time to really understand where these thoughts come from, where these energies, where these emotions come from, we better understand them so we can now do something about it, which is kind of where option 3 is. And these are not linear. I'll explain that in a second. These are not linear. You don't have to go 1, 2, 3. Option 3 is to raise yourself up out of wherever you're at. So if you're frustrated, exhausted, drained, tired, angry, hurt, disappointed, upset, fill in the blank, whatever your negative emotion is, your less than emotion, it's raising you up one level. It is not, option 3 is not trying to get yourself into everything is perfect, everything is working out, everything is fine and dandy, I don't have a care in the world. If you can get yourself there, cool. Kudos to you. I typically can't. I typically can't go from deep down in my rabbit hole of despair to everything is fine and dandy in one day or one sitting. So I go baby steps. If I am hurt or upset or angry, how can I go to ticked off, annoyed, frustrated? How can I go to something that's a little bit less extreme, a little bit higher in that vibration? If I am, let's say, like sitting at a -5 on a scale, how can I get myself to a -4 or a -3? Not how can I get myself from 0 to 100. How can I get myself from 0 to 1? From 20 to 22, right? It's taking the small steps to just raise yourself a little bit. Because once you can start to see that you can, in fact, make progress, it's a lot easier to keep going. It doesn't feel as insurmountable from going to bliss, everything is perfect, look at me, my life is easy. That's really hard to do. So the 3 options: sit and do nothing, bitch and moan, sit in the old paradigm that has gotten you nowhere. Option 2 is to really sit and study of your emotions. Where are they coming from? Why are they coming up? So this could be something such as, looking at my own example, if I have these thoughts of excuse me, this thought of I'm never going to get in shape, I'm never going to be in charge of my health, I'm never going to have control over my health, that's really insurmountable. But if instead of thinking, oh, I'm never going to do this, if I can study what that emotion is, if I can understand that that really is fear of not being worthy if I'm not in shape, of being less than if I'm bigger than I think I should be, it's a lot. Now, I don't want to say easier, because it's not easier, but it's more doable once I understand what the actual emotion is that's holding me down. If I can understand what box I am putting myself in by saying I'm never going to be in charge of my health, I'm never going to make this happen. If I can understand that that's actually a fear-based emotion, a fear-based thought for me, I can do something about it. I can do something about that idea that I'm less than if I'm bigger than I think I should be, or I'm less than if I'm bigger than I was at 22. It's that understanding, it's that being in deep study of your own emotions and the energies and everything that's kind of going on in your mind. Sorry, my dogs are like really, hey mama, look at me. And then finally, option 3 is really doing something about it to pull yourself up out of where you're at and raising your vibration, raising your mood, raising your frequency just a little bit. Because once we can get started on raising our emotions, energy, frequency, vibration, whatever you want to call it, we can keep going. There are 7.5 billion people on this planet. There's, I don't know, let's say maybe 30 billion different ways we can go about this. It can be as little as going outside and putting your feet in the ground, putting your butt on the grass, feeling the earth below you. Going out, smelling a rose, smelling other flowers, smelling a baked good. Hell, if I smell ciabatta bread, I'm already feeling better. But really what you want to do, if you're in option 3 and you're really actively moving through and like raising yourself up, the best thing that you can do is to enact habits that start to rewire your brain. So not only do we want to raise ourselves up 1 or 2 or as many levels as we can to get out of that rabbit hole of despair, to get out of that negative downward spiral of I'm not ever going to get what I want. I'm never going to get what I want. If we can rewire our brain, it makes it easier to get out of that old paradigm. So what do I mean by this? The story that we tell ourselves, and every single person on earth has one, we have multiple, is that spiral of our ego talking to us and reminding us of all the things that we have not done right, that we've fucked up, that hasn't happened, all these different things of like, you shouldn't keep trying, because our ego's job is to keep us safe. And the easiest way that it can keep us safe is by keeping us too scared to try something, to keep working, to keep going against the odds. So that's what that negative spiral talk is. It's your ego. As a human being, we have this. It's your ego telling you to stop putting yourself out there. Stop trying because it's scary and you can get hurt. And it's a lot safer if we stay in this box, if we stay in this tiny little box that we put ourselves in. Your ego is not doing it to hurt you. It's doing this to hurt you. It's doing it to keep you safe. So what we want to do is rewire our brain that instead of our automatic initial default thing being going down this rabbit hole of all these things that haven't happened, that have gone wrong, that have, gone off the deep end, we want to start thinking of all the things that have gone right. All the examples of times where we've done the thing. We've done the thing. All the examples of the times where I've eaten really well. I've worked out. I've maintained, he's ridiculously cute. I've maintained a healthy lifestyle. Because if we go back to the negative talk spiral that says, I will never have this, I have never done this, I have never successfully been a leader, I've never successfully been a boss, I've never successfully maintained my health, whatever that looks like for you, whatever your story is. If we can start poking holes, it's easier, more doable, more attainable to continue to poke those holes and realize that never is a really long fucking time and is really not feasible. So I like to use what I call a daily celebrations file, and I'll show you mine actually, because I think there's a lot to be said of seeing somebody do this. It can be as simple as a piece of white paper or notebook paper, where one time a day. And it doesn't happen every day. Sometimes it's 6-7 times a day. I write down things that I am grateful for, proud of, thankful that I've done, or things that I'm celebrating. So for me, these are old ones of all over the place. I did not answer someone's phone call before 9 a.m. because that is evidence that I have maintained a boundary for myself. I rode 1,000 meters. That's evidence that I've taken care of myself. I signed up for a specific masterclass. That's evidence that I keep working on myself. I crushed a presentation. Evidence that I'm growing. I accepted a tip for dog walking instead of saying, no, that's not necessary. That proves that I'm growing in my relationship with money, and that I am receiving and open to receiving. So, and it's messy, right? Like, this is all over the place. But it's these things that start to rewire our brains. So when I get back into those days where it's really hard to keep trying or to keep working on something and it feels like it's never gonna happen, I can actually go back to these files that I have, to these pieces of paper and think, actually, you know what? I spent 4 days in a row where I ate really well and worked out. I can maintain my health. I can do this. So when my ego comes in and says, you can never achieve the right weight, you will never achieve a healthy relationship with food, a healthy relationship with working out, because you never have, I can actually go to my piece of paper, to my daily celebrations, and say, actually, ego, you can bugger off, because on July 7th, I worked out. On April 14th, dates I'm making up, April 14th, I went gluten-free for a week. I went sugar-free for a week. I went 2 months without drinking alcohol. Right? It's these examples in your own hand that is you showing up for yourself. That is you rewriting that old narrative, that old paradigm of being less than, being not the right combination, being not enough, being fill in the blank with whatever fucking phrase gets you. It's rewiring your brain to say, actually, I'm really good. Actually, I've done this before. I've done this so many times in so many different ways that I can do it again. And just by rereading some of these, your mood will start to improve, your vibration will start to raise. You'll realize that the story you're telling yourself is just a story, and that there is only the amount of truth to it that you place to it. So if the truth is that you don't know how to take care of yourself. You don't know how to run a business. You don't know how to grow a garden. You don't know how to you can actually go to your list and say, actually, I had this really hard conversation with my family member and I held to my point. So that truth of putting everybody else first and not taking care of myself actually isn't true anymore, because I have proof. I wrote it down. I celebrated it. I did this. And you start to rewrite the story, and you start to rewire your brain. So for me, this daily celebrations is something that's been really incredible. It's been something that's been really helpful to me, to the point that I actually created a little template. It's really cute. It's just simple. It's got some color on it. That is now in my empowerment library. Link in bio, website, everything. It's free. You can go download it. It's simple, but with the coloring, it doesn't get lost in your desk of papers and shit that just exists. So what's my point? In summary, there's a lot of energy moving through everybody all the time. And sometimes it's really heavy. Sometimes we feel like nothing is going right. Sometimes we don't know how we feel. We just feel off. We feel like nothing's wrong per se, but not necessarily right either. And we have three ways. We have three choices of how we react and how we do proceed through those. Whether it's a lot of emotions going on, or if it's not a whole lot going on, if it just doesn't feel right, if it doesn't feel good. We have the option to do nothing and continue to sit in the old story and the ick and the shit and the muck and bitch and moan and do nothing about it. That doesn't serve anyone. We have the option to treat it as a riptide and study and observe, but not engage. And then we have the option of doing something about it, of raising our mood, of increasing our vibration, our frequency, of having a jack just stare at you over your shoulder, of moving forward with it. Now, I mentioned before that these are not linear options. You don't have to do option 1 to get to 2 to get to 3. It doesn't matter where you are on your journey through humanhood. You can choose any of them every day. You can choose all 3 of them within one day. It might be that you just sit in it and you're just like, I don't even know what to do. I'm just gonna sit. I'm gonna be bitchy and pissy, and I just don't know. And that's fine. Go for it. It's not gonna get you anywhere. It's not gonna change anything. But if that's where you're at, honor it. Don't judge yourself for it. Don't feel less than because of how you're reacting to something. Do it. Option 2 of observing. You can observe every day. You can observe some of, everything. For me right now, I am sitting through option 2. I am trying to study and observe where these thoughts keep coming from so that I can more robustly attack them and rewrite them. But before I can do that, I need to understand where they're coming from, why they're coming up now. What is it about this week or today that is really, really pulling me down? What is it that is giving my demons in my rabbit hole the ability to give me that siren call and have it be so tempting? What's going on? So that's where I'm at. If you also are in that, I'm not ready to do anything about it, but I'm also not going to do nothing about it. Go into study. Observe. Decide not to participate. You can observe your emotions and the energies without participating, without engaging, without clinging to those emotions. You can watch them. You can study them. And then if you're ready, you're like, I don't want to sit in this. I don't want to sit in this energy. I understand where it's coming from. Or, you know what? I don't understand where it's coming from, but today's not the day to figure it out. Today, I don't have the capacity. I don't have the bandwidth. I don't have it in me to study the emotions, and I just need to get into a higher vibe. I just need to get into a better headspace. Cool. Like, good for you. That's awesome. Go in and take that step, whatever it looks like, whether it's daily celebrations, whether it's nature, whether it's, petting a dog or a cat or calling a friend. You don't have to walk through option 1, then 2, then 3. You can hop straight through and be like, hey, today I'm just going to get myself in a higher vibe because that's what I need. I know what's going on. I don't want to sit with it. I can't sit with it. I don't need to sit with it. I'm just going to go option 3 and just like dance it out, yell it out, music it out, whatever it is. So again, it's not that you have to run through 1, 2, 3. You get to choose with each emotion, energy, cycle, experience, situation, which one you want to use, which option you want to respond with. I highly, highly encourage you to use options 2 and 3 because that's what's actually going to propel you through life. But if where you're at right now is sitting and griping and moaning and complaining, that's fine too. It's not going to do a whole lot for you. But if that's where you're at, that's where you're at. There's no judgment. And there shouldn't be judgment from you either because we're humans. We're humans, right? Like, this is part of life. This is part of our humanhood. So if any of this resonates, if any of this feels like, oh shit, she's definitely talking to me. If you are stuck in this old story, these old paradigms, these old perspectives that you're just like, I'm done thinking this way. I'm over it. I'm ready for more. I'm ready for the next step. I'm ready to tell this ego to fuck off, bugger off, whatever your word of choice is. Mine's pretty much always fuck. If you're ready to take a deep look at that and figure out what it is and to work through it, hit me up. Send me a DM. Send me an email. I would love nothing more than to help you work through that. It has been instrumental in my own healing. It has been instrumental in my own growth. And that's what I'm here for, right? Like, I am a coach. I am a mentor. I am a guide. I am a healer. I am a teacher. I'm a weird, witchy medicine woman. I'm figuring it out, right? Like, if you are ready for more, if you are ready for more than instead of less than, I'm here and I'm supporting you and I am cheering you on and I am very loudly saying, fuck yes, fuck yes. And I hope this helps. If you, like I said, if you want the daily celebrations template, go check out my empowerment library. It's totally free. Link in bio. If you are ready to take your journey to the next level, send me a DM, add a comment to this video, and I will reach out to you because you, beautiful, beautiful soul, you are ready and you are deserving of and you are worthy of everything that you want simply because you exist. And I would love to help you get there. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know if you use the daily celebrations. I'd love to know if it helps you. Let me know if this resonated with you. If you have any questions, comments, I'd love to open a dialogue about this. Otherwise, go have a beautiful rest of your Wednesday.